Hey y'all, so I just kind of wanted to explain to you where I'm at with this hot water situation. So, some time ago, after the hot water wasn't working, I came down and it wasn't working again after I left. Like, I got it working. It was an electrical, like my breaker, it was an electrical issue. Okay, so, but not like on this thing. It was like up in the house because there was another light that also wasn't working. So, I came home one day after it had been working for a little while, and it wasn't working, and the breaker had been flipped. So I turned it back on, the breaker back on, and just reset it, because usually you have to push this reset button here when you turn the power back on. So I reset it, and it was just working again for a while. Okay, and so it flipped again, and I was like, you know what, I already had one extra of these, so I was like, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and put that element in. And when I went to replace the other element, this is what it looked like. There was no element anymore, even though I had just, after I flipped the breaker, I actually had I turned up the temperature here, okay, and I had really hot water for a little while. Okay, so the water was working good. I left the house for a few hours. I came back. I had no hot water. I went to replace the element, and it looked like this. Okay, so to give you perspective, this element is at least 5 years newer than that element, because I was not able to get that one out previously, this one here. Okay, I've got like a new little tactic where I put my big socket through that in the breaker bar, and then I hit it with a hammer. Okay, so because as you see, these are really thin. There's not a whole lot for a socket to grab onto. So this was missing. And then, I thought it was interesting that after I put the new element in, this time when I turned the breaker back on, I could hear electricity down in there, which again, I'd had that element in there for years and it wasn't working. The element hadn't worked for, at least the 5 years, over 5 years that I owned this house, and it never caused any problems to keep this element up here from working. Okay, so what kind of happened was I flipped the breaker back on, and then it was when I pushed the reset button that I could hear noise coming out of down here, okay? So I was like, well, fuck, let me try to just go ahead and replace that element. And with my new little tactic, I was able to get it off. There's the patent. And then this is what this one looked like, okay? It's like busted open. This thing had been in there not working for 5 years now. And I didn't have any problems. I was concerned because I had never heard any noise whatsoever coming from down there. And then when I pushed the reset, I heard noise. So after I hooked up the new element, okay, as soon as I turned on the breaker, it started spitting sparks, okay? So the way that this is supposed to go, when you turn it off, you are supposed to have to push this reset button, okay, in order to restart the electricity, because they want to make sure that you have filled it with water, okay, before you turn the electricity back on, and then you're supposed to have to push that reset button. So I hadn't even pushed the reset button, and it started shooting sparks. So I had to flip the breaker back off, and it's basically I have to stay home, because this always happens. Something always changes after I get it working again. It's always after I've been gone for a while. Okay. So I haven't gotten all that many hot showers in. I had to take a cold one the other night, and what I finally went ahead and did. And I feel like, to be honest, L'Oreal is at this point just trying to win juvenile asshole points with the rest of the guys. Okay, so I did go ahead and pull the tub out here. Obviously, I have to clean it, because what this is going to let me do, instead of having to heat up big buckets of water and use up all the electricity to heat the water inside, I'm going to be able to heat it up big buckets of water on here, and maybe get some solar heating going on this, and then just like supplement it with some hot water off the rocket stove. So I got to scrub it out, and then I'm trying to figure out how to work this, because I want to be able to get some solar heating of the water. I thought about maybe putting up a solar bag, but the problem is that this is not an adventure in satellite surveillance exhibitionism. Like I really want to be able to clean myself with hot water. The problem is that, I am going to get an on-demand water heater eventually to replace that one, but because of my situation, that may not work out for me either, even if I buy a brand new one. So anyways, I feel like right here I have this is basically, I have road coverage from both other roads, and then I have a little bit of satellite coverage, and then I have something that I'll be able to drape my my cover off of to just close this area out when I'm actually taking a bath in this thing. So I know, because I'm a buzzkill like that. Okay, so anyways, this autumn olive, I'm kind of happy I didn't whack it down all the way yet, because it's going to maybe be useful to me. It's just a matter of how can I maybe push the branches to the side with some sort of strap or something, or bungee, to just get some sunlight on there. I don't know if it's going to work out. If I have to just use some water off of there, then it is what it is. But I'm going to scrub it out first before I tuck it back in there. I have a big wooden platform that I was going to try to move out, but it's too heavy for me to move by myself, and I have to